The stock market is filled with overcrowded trades. With central banks buying shares, we need to know where the real money is. Is this all computer algorithms, or is this complete fundamentals? Understand that certain stocks receive help from central banks and therefore distort the market. It's always important to search for the truth. And that's why you came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we're going to get into various issues, but I want to cover the trades that are overcrowded right now. So I want to begin with this. Looking at the education bubble, the tuition bubble, and it is one of the biggest that we have today. I'll scroll down. What we're looking at is higher education inflation. School tuitions rising essentially. Focus on the chart on the right-hand side. Prices change since 1990. When you look at the gray line, that is all consumer prices. So we can say that the CPI is the cost of living index. You can see that even though these numbers are fake, you can just look where they are. Year over year over year, things get more expensive. That's a fact. And as a result, you see your currency being worth less and less. They go hand in hand, in fact. Then compare that to medical care. That's the yellow line. The medical care has expanded dramatically over these same years. It has gone far beyond the rate at which our supposed cost of living index is going at. Then you look at college tuition, which is the blue line, and you can see that it has gone astronomical in comparison to this cost of living index. So the cost of living index is totally fraudulent when they can make it seem like things are rising at 2% or whatever number they give us per year, when in fact, if you just leave out all the things that have risen dramatically, sure, you can get a rating of 2%, but it doesn't work like that, not in reality anyway. So this is what we're experiencing now. Now, look at the bubble that we are seeing right now. This is student loans owned and securitized outstanding. This is from the Federal Reserve themselves. You've seen these charts before. And you can see that this goes from essentially, let's call it the financial crisis up until today, and you'll look at that. I mean, it is just a perfectly straight line upward. It is escalating to the point where we don't know at what point this will snap, but we can see that it's over $1 trillion today, and there's no way mathematically this can be paid back, and it will not be paid back. It will most likely need to be bailed out in some sort of way. But just like all debt that we see, whether it's mortgages, whether it's credit cards, the student loans are securitized as well. And what does that mean? Your debt is packaged up and sold off to investors. That means they make money off of the debt. People don't realize that. You just look at it one-dimensionally. There's debt there, the people have it, and it's okay, it doesn't really matter. That's really not the depth of it. You understand that all of this debt is packaged up by these financial institutions, sold off to these other companies, and you are seeing it actually cause a detriment to certain countries, certain people, certain sectors, when they can push these markets down and they can use CDSs like they did in Greece. They can do these. They're called financial weapons of mass destruction for a reason. Okay, let's move on. Right here. Looking at this, the IMF, I've said this before, but basically the IMF is part of this, supranational entities which own and control other countries. But their reports that they talk about, I think they're great. The analysis is great. I just don't like their actual implementation. Now, what they've said here, and this is somewhat hard to believe, the IMF could be based in Beijing in a decade if growth trends for China and other big emerging markets continue, and these are reflected in the fund's voting structure. That's according to Christine Lagarde herself. So they're saying that essentially as China grows and grows, they become more influential, and therefore we might have our offices over there. And that shows us what has happened to the world. Things are changing. Yes, there will be setbacks in China. There will be setbacks in other countries that we see. However, you can see the longer term. That might be 30 years, that might be 40 years. Who knows how long it will take. But you can see that the hegemony that once was there sort of doesn't really exist the same way as it did a few decades ago. Looking at this is the topic for today. I just want to briefly cover it, in fact. Looking at this, crowded longs. These are the crowded longs that we are experiencing right now. Looking at Alphabet being number one, Alibaba, Amazon, Facebook, Apple. I'll just scroll for a moment here. You're seeing the Microsoft, Citigroup, all different types, but I'm noticing a lot of technology stocks that are here at the very top. And that shows me that these are being pushed up by the central banks, and then people just ride the wave right behind it. I think personally that is overcrowding, and that's never a good sign. You want to be that contrarian sometimes, not too early of course, but you want to have that contrarian bet. When everybody's going one way, you have to go the other, and that's when the biggest gains are made. Now, I'm not suggesting that anybody do anything, but I'm just showing you the facts. Then I'll scroll to the side here and show you the crowded shorts. And I just wanted to note one, and that is Tesla. Tesla's the number one crowded short. Everybody believes this stock should decline, and here it is at number one. Now that would mean, could it go higher? I don't know. It's accelerated to a certain degree at this point that it has seemed rather unlikely that it can continue, but we'll see where it goes. I just wanted to point these out. I think this is important because you need to understand which stocks are being bought up too much, because it's not just about fundamentals anymore. Those have somewhat been thrown out of the window, unfortunately. And then we have this to just finish it off, the 3-month T-bill auction yield. Guess what? This has now hit a level that we have not seen since the financial crisis. How many times do I need to repeat myself, and how many times do I need to repeat myself from saying that? We are in the financial crisis part 2. This is just one more example. People are not doing well. The prosperity is not there. Yes, you see some people doing well. Yes, some people have had their assets appreciate. However, the general economy, the tent cities, all of the poverty, the homelessness is being seen around the globe. And I've asked people just recently to tell me what they see on the streets. And I have received many reports from people talking about the poverty that they see on the streets with their own eyes, not even the mainstream media, not the independent media. I want individuals on the ground telling me what they think. I aggregate that news from all over the world, and then I bring it to you here. That's what this channel is about. I take things from the grassroots and bring it to you. These articles are in a way just props for me to get this information to you. I have people contacting me all the time, different walks of life, different levels and different colors and creeds and everything else, literally all over the world, and they tell me the situation they see, they experience. So I get that picture. A lot of people, they sort of have their 9-to-5 job, or maybe they're going to school, and then they see their social circle, and then they head back home, they watch their television, or they go on the internet, or whatever it might be, and then they go to sleep, and then it starts over again. They may not have the exposure that somebody else like me, or somebody who's definitely much more popular. There are a lot of YouTubers and people in the media and everything else that are in contact with many more people. And I myself am seeing that there is a general consensus that people aren't doing well right now. You as an individual, you may be doing well, but I'm just saying general consensus here. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up. Last but not least, if you found the video informative, I know you will find my books, The Money GPS, and my new release, Global Economic Collapse, more informative. Those are at Amazon. The links are in the description of this video. And if you want to check out lots of free stuff that I have, it's on my website. You can get the free ebooks, you can get the free e-course, and much more, themoneyGPS.com.